Hey everybody, it's Captain Kyle and I'm here with Sideswipe. And at first glance, this looks like just a regular old Siege Sideswipe, but it's not, because when you bring out the regular old Siege Sideswipe, he is much smaller. This is an oversized knockoff of Siege Sideswipe. Very cool. Die-cast parts in here too, metal. So we're gonna go through this guy and see if this Titan, next to the original, is good for your collection. Be right back. So there he is, an oversized version of Sideswipe, and you may have seen ads for these. This was pretty inexpensive. I think it was like 13 bucks, which is cheaper than the actual Sideswipe from Hasbro. So I'm gonna go through them. I'm gonna do a little bit of a comparing to the original. This is not a versus review because he's basically the same mold. His knees are a little bit wobbly, so I can just very easily do that, but overall, he stands fine. He's got all the weapons. So let's take a look. First of all, he can do a Jean-Claude Van Damme. He's got the same posability as his smaller counterpart. He can bend at the knee almost too easily. That's my one gripe. He's a little loose there. But he can do all kinds of kicks. He can join the Rockettes. He does have the ankle swivel, so you can put him in a dynamic pose. And he can fall over like that. Try not to shake the table when you put him in a dynamic pose. That's what I get out of this. So there he is. He does have the full range of motion with his arms. The arms twist and swivel at the shoulder. He's got elbows. He also has a pivot. And like the original, you can't actually twist his fists, but you can still twist his arm around. He's still got a nice amount of movement. His head can turn just like the original. He can also twist at the waist. All this and a much larger Autobot, or you could make him a shattered glass. These are great because they're so inexpensive to repaint if you're someone who likes to repaint and create new characters. Now weaponry, he's got the same shoulder cannon as the original Siege. Now the original one has red for his pistol. This one is black. So they didn't go with the extra effort of making this a different color, but it still plugs right in. You can make it into a longer weapon if you want him to carry a much larger gun, if he's a little insecure, because he is a knockoff. He could have those feelings. And unlike the Siege one, there's no silver feet, but there's also no wear. It doesn't look like he's been through a lot of battles. If you really want that effect, just, beat him up a bit. You could do that. So overall, robot mode, definitely a winner. Balancing him on one knee is always a bit of a challenge, no matter if it's real or not. So there he is. Let's take a look at the vehicle mode. And if you know how to transform the original, well, you know how to transform this guy. Now the reason he does twist at the waist is because that is part of the transformation. So not a big surprise there. Now the plastic and the metal, they don't really feel all that cheap as you might expect with the knockoff. They're actually comparable in quality to the original. Maybe a little more plasticky feel, but otherwise I'd say it's pretty much the same level of quality. Maybe slightly less, but not significantly. There he is, rolling just like any other Autobot. The vehicle mode definitely looks good. Pretty much the same, again, as the original one. Of course, no Autobot symbols. In a rolling contest, neither of them roll that great. I don't know what it is with the more recent Hasbro stuff, but most of them can't roll for shit. The original G1 rolled great. But there they are next to each other. As you can see, the knockoff is much larger. You can also see there's a slight difference. This might be hard to see on the camera, but there's a slight tinge of more brightness to the knockoff. It's also shinier. It looks more like that new car finish, whereas this one, especially on the back, seems a little dull. You can kind of see a lot more gleaming on the knockoff. I don't know if that's a plus or a minus. To me, I kind of like it shinier. The deco otherwise, he's got an Autobot symbol. He's got some stripes. It looks almost like text. Well, if it is lettering, it's not in any language I know. So it is either an interesting design or it is in Chinese or some other language. But that's the main difference. They got the same headlights, the sides. I'd say it's a little more silver on the knockoff instead of black. So that's kind of a shiny black or gray on both sides. So there's some slight deco differences. Also these intakes, that's what I imagine they are, look much brighter on the knockoff than on the original. The backs look the same, other than, you know, it's got a big old butt. Yeah, other than scaling, as you can see, I've got this new mat, so you can actually see that this lengthwise is about 6 inches, whereas the original's a hair over 4 in vehicle mode. And the bottoms look pretty much the same amount of, I don't know if I'd even call it kibble. So this guy was $11.72 plus a little bit of tax plus a little bit of shipping, so he came to $13.75. I think for the price, he's definitely worth it. If you want a slightly oversized version of Sideswipe, if you're a Sideswipe fan and you want another one in a bigger size, here you go. And if you don't, that's good too. Obviously, this might be more in scale with the other Siege bots. Still, you never know. Having a big brother that's not Sunstreaker might be a good thing. And again, just to show the weapons, the weapon is just scaled up, but exact same gimmick, exact same ability to detach and plug into his shoulder. So while you're debating whether or not you want to upsize or use Viagra on your Sideswipe, okay, it's a different Sideswipe, you can check out this video over here where we review other oversized knockoffs. And go ahead and hit that like button if you enjoyed this video. We will see you next time. As always, have fun and good hunting.